Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for making the time to be with us here this afternoon. It is the NCBIA Good Life webinar. Are you ready for life after work? Are you ready? Your colleagues, nudge your friend, nudge your neighbor, nudge your family member, nudge everybody. Tell them the Good Life webinar is on. They don't want to miss it because we want to make sure that you are ready for life after work and you don't have to keep working all your life. Welcome, everyone. It is a pleasure for us to have you this evening. I'm your host, Antoinette Cowan-Palmer, and it is my absolute pleasure to take us through this evening. Let me take this opportunity to just say a special shout out to everyone who is on. I am checking. I can't see everybody, but I know we have quite a number of persons who are on. And we want to say welcome to you. Want to say a special shout out to our head of pensions, Mr. Desmond Johnson, and we also have online Antonio Spence, who is head of NCBIA and head of insurance. So I want to say welcome to you, but the evening belongs to you, our guests. You who have logged on to hear how to prepare for life after retirement. It belongs to you who are concerned about what your retirement looks like, whether your retirement dream is going to happen as you have planned it. You who want to make sure that you are ready and raring to go. Just want to let you know, as a few housekeeping matters, the meeting is being recorded for future references and the recording will be available. So I think I saw that message in the chat. Yes, the meeting is being recorded, and I'm hoping, I'm trusting, and I know everybody is all good with that. On another housekeeping matter, want to let you know that the chat is open, and I see you've started utilizing it already. Excellent. So the chat is always open. We want to make sure that you are able to keep the engagement going. So feel free, use the emojis, give the shout outs. Any questions you may have, you may type them in the chat. Any concerns you have, you may also put those in the chat. And we will be having a question and answer segment at the end of the program. So you can either note them privately, or you can place them in the chat, and we will certainly be taking those questions. We have lots of excitement here for you this evening. We have lots of giveaways for you, so make sure you have your eyes well locked to your screen. You're tuned in. Don't allow anybody to disturb you. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Anybody else that you need to call to say, hey, log on, I'm not seeing you online, make sure you call them now. 30 seconds, because after that, no disturb sign is what you're going to be putting on. So thank you again so much for coming on. To you, our pension prospects, to you who are looking for a way to make sure that your retirement is secure and you're ready for life after work, this is for you. We welcome you. Today, we are going to be learning how we can invest in ourselves starting right now to create the dream retirement that we look forward to, that we desire. You know, so many of us during our working years, we wake up every day and we go out to work, or we work from home, whatever it is. We are working hard to make a living, to support our lifestyles, to support our families. And we ensure that our everyday or day-to-day needs or day-to-day expenses are covered. But have we considered our expenses and our lifestyles after we have stopped working, after we can no longer work? Today, we are going to learn practical ways that we can invest in our future and build good habits toward a wealthy lifestyle, and how we can position ourselves to achieve financial freedom at retirement. So the link has been placed in the chat. Share the link with your loved ones. Anybody you know who is not part of a retirement plan, or who you know may not have sufficient plans in place, share the link quickly. Remember, I said you won't have any time for anybody after this, because you don't want anybody to distract you. You don't want to miss a moment of this session. Now, as I indicated earlier, the chat is open, and the webinar. It will be available on our YouTube page. We'll share the information at the end of this session. And so we want you to make sure that you are taking copious notes. Get your notebooks out, get your recordings ready, whatever it is that you need to do. We don't want you to miss a thing. We want you to raise the questions. We want you to share the comments. We want you to give the shout outs throughout the session. But most importantly, we want you to act on the information you will receive here today. That is the only way we will know that the mission would have been accomplished. All right. So let us make sure that we act on the information. So to kick things off, we will be hearing from a number of persons. We have two very special panelists who will be sharing their experiences with us, but we have heard from the people in the streets. So before I introduce our guests, we're going to be hearing a vox pop, some interviews that we conducted to get a sense of what persons know about retirement planning, how they feel about retirement planning, and, you know, some of the responses that we got from persons on the streets. Listen up, perhaps those are some of the same responses you would have given. Who's to tell? So we're going to be sharing our vox pop now, and tell me, type it in the chat. What do you think? Anything that pops out at you, just type it in the chat.
Pension/retirement is it's very important to me. Of course, you know, we can't always work for the rest of our lives, no matter how much we wish we could. So it's always important to have a backup plan for when you are not able to work.
I think it's important because, you know, long life saving after you retire, you know, say, you don't have much, you can't work, you get tired and all of that. So you know, long term, especially when you have children.
Everybody. It's for everybody. But some people just don't really care for it.
There's no way that if you don't have a pension unless you go back to work.
That is false. As me say, as soon as you can start make money, start put on money.
I promise you, you will want to hear that vox pop in its entirety. So we're going to be playing it again later on in the program. But for those bits and pieces that you heard, I want you to type in the chat anything that popped out at you. I made a couple of notes myself, but I want to see what you heard, what you picked up from some of the things that persons said. You know, when should you start? Who is it for? What is it that popped out at you? And so while our technical team gets ready to give us a retake on that box pop. I want to see you typing in the chat anything that jumped out at you. And while we type, let me just share, perhaps you will share some of the same things that I heard, you know. Planning, it's important that you plan. We should start now. Yes, it's for everyone. Yes, we got that. We should, from your start making money, start putting away some money. That one was profound for me. From your start make money, you must start put on money. I loved it. Start now, unless you want to work when you are old. Absolutely, absolutely. And so we did get quite a bit from it. I found the vox pop. I must take tails out of school. Now I saw it before, and I thought some of the comments were very true, but very funny. So I wanted to hear it too. So I will play it again later on. But while we work out those technical glitches, what I'm sure you will be happy to hear is what our panelists have to say. And so I'm going to be introducing to you our very special guests who have taken the time to share their own experiences with us as it relates to pension planning. We have sharing with us this afternoon, this evening, Desmond Williams, who is an existing NCB customer and is currently contributing to the SMART pension plan. So Mr. Williams is a smart man. Puns intended. So you want to make sure you get on board with SMART as well. And we also have Lorna Brissett Simpson. She's an existing NCB customer who is also a SMART pensioner. You see why you need to get SMART. I also want to welcome, as part of the panel, Mr. Alvin Campbell. He's the manager of employee benefits here at NCB Insurance Agency and Fund Managers Limited. And this segment is entitled, "What does your dream retirement look like?" And I want you to pause for a moment before I even invite the panelists to come on. And pause for 10 seconds. What does your dream retirement look like? I hope you have one and you're not just leaving it to chance, because you know the old adage is true. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And none of us plans to fail. We are making sure that we are ready for life after retirement. So ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Let some emojis go up as we welcome our panelists, Mr. Desmond Williams, Mrs. Lorna Brissett Simpson, and Mr. Alvin Campbell. Yes, I see the applause rolling in. Thank you so very much. Welcome, Desmond, Lorna, and Alvin. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks. Hi, everyone.
Good evening,
All right.
everyone. Thanks, Antoinette.
Awesome. Wonderful to have you. So I'm going to be starting with the rose. I won't say among the thorns, but our retiree, our lone retiree in the panel, Mrs. Lorna Brissett Simpson, welcome.
Thank you.
My first question to you is, when did you start and what made you consider preparing for retirement at the time that you started? When did you start and what made you start, really?
I started at about age 23, and actually I would say I planned it. I just joined an organization that had one of those compulsory pension schemes. So I really had no choice. So I went in, put in my 5%, and that's it. So I wouldn't say it's me. It was a company that I went to, I think a forward-thinking company that did that.
I love that. A forward-thinking company. So you never had a choice in the matter. That every Jamaican was placed in that situation where they don't have a choice in the matter. Yeah. So you indicated that you put in your 5%. How difficult was it for you, and how difficult was it for you to be setting aside those contributions toward your retirement every month? Was that a challenge for you at all?
Well, no, I mean, given that it was compulsory, you had to put it in, but for me, it represented not a challenge in that there was some benefit to be had from putting it in. I think the challenge was to put the additional 5%, that voluntary 5%. That was when the challenge came. But, eventually you realize that there were the merits of putting it in. So I wouldn't say it was a challenge. It was something that I think that, we should do.
Awesome, awesome. I'm happy to hear that. I'm going to bring Desmond in at this point because I really want to hear from you, Desmond. And thank you, Lorna, for sharing your experience there. Desmond, you are not at retirement. You are very young. Just start life. How do you feel? I mean, how difficult was it for you? What was your experience like making that decision to start a pension plan? Tell us what made you consider doing a retirement plan at this time in your life.
All right, so I actually never considered retirement before, and I always had pension in the back of my mind, like always had it there. So just never had any information or the know-how to go about getting a pension. And then they did a seminar with my company, and I sat in, listened to all of the points, listened to all of the benefits, listened to all of the good things that having a pension would offer you at the end of your working life. And I I collected the contacts and just made the decision that I'm getting my pension this year. Contacted her, the process took about 1 hour, literally 1 hour. I was surprised that how little it was that you'd put towards a pension, because I always thought it was going to be very expensive to have a pension, that what the kind of cost would be. But it was pretty easy, pretty simple, and it was pretty easy for me to contribute that amount as well. So that was my experience.
That's I'm happy to hear. It was pretty easy for you to contribute that amount. It sounds like we need to, I don't know if the pension regulations need to change or what. And I know that the regulations, and Alvin, I'm going to invite you to jump in here because I want you to share with us, Alvin, you know, tell us a little bit about what it is that you are seeing. We hear Desmond saying, you know, the process was easy. You're on the ground every day, Alvin, you and your team. What are you seeing on the ground? Are people eager to commit to retirement planning? I heard Desmond saying it was at the back of his mind, always at the back of his mind, but he never acted on it. Are people eager to commit to retirement planning? What are the statistics saying? What are your experiences telling you? Alvin.
Hi, Antoinette. Good evening, everyone. One of the things that is interesting to note, when the pension regulations opened up in about 2000, 2007, 2008, there were about 7% of Jamaica's working population that was participating in a private pension arrangement. And now in 2024, that number has moved to just 12%. So in 16 years, only a penetration rate of 5% of Jamaica's working population. So even as I was listening to the Vox Pop and I heard everybody speaking, pension is good to have, I think it's probably a matter of the will to really move towards accessing your pension and not just look at it as something that you will get in the future, but see it as part of your wealth management for yourself, because a lot of persons don't think about pension as part of their wealth management. So when you're thinking about your holistic financial status, when you're thinking about creating your wealth, building your wealth, and preserving your wealth, your pension is a key component in all of this. And I mean, I hear Desmond, and I mean, I'm so glad to hear a young person who had it. And when the information and the access came to him, he just jumped on it and moved into action and has secured his pension going forward.
Thank you so much, Alvin. And hint, for those persons who are online who don't have a pension plan, you now have the information. We are going to share with you how you can access it quickly and easily this evening. It is for you to act on it. Back to you, Mrs. Brissett Simpson. You are in retirement. How do you feel now that you're at retirement, looking back at the sacrifices that you made to set aside financially for your retirement? How do you now feel being in retirement now?
I would want to say I should have made some more sacrifices. Yeah, I should have started that additional voluntary 5% earlier. And when you had an opportunity, I've spoke to the pension laws and so on, but earlier you were allowed to take your voluntary and you could take your money when you want to, do what you want to do. I wish that didn't happen, because at least then I would have more today, right? So I don't mind being on retirement. I just wish I had saved more than I did, in a nutshell.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we want to live life without regrets, team. So here it is. At the end of the day, Mrs. Preset wishes that she would have saved more. We're saying, hey, don't let that happen to you. So Desmond, thank you, Mrs. Preset Simpson. Desmond, do you have any concerns at this point, you know, going into retirement, planning for retirement? Are there any concerns that you have?
Well,
perhaps looking
not
at what is happening
necessarily.
around?
Yeah, well, not necessarily, you know. From my point of view, I was mainly worried about inflation at the time. When I got the information, I was ready to start. That's what I was worried about. But Anique sat me down and she got me through all the information, and basically what people have to do is just start at a comfortable amount and then increase over time, which would help you to adjust for the long run. But for now,
Absolutely.
comfortable.
Absolutely. And I'm happy to hear that. Having a smart retirement plan and comfortable that you are planning for your retirement. Alvin, tell us, how can NCBIA help? We're doing this webinar and we're sharing information. What else do you have to say to the members of our audience who may be halting between opinions, wondering if they should or should not? I mean, what do you have to say to members of our audience? How can NCBIA help in this retirement planning journey?
Right. I think one of the things that you mentioned earlier, Antoinette, was what vision do you have for your retirement? And I think we started there, because if we can't cast a vision for how we want to spend our retirement years and live in those retirement years, then it is going to, we will not take pride, or we will not discipline ourselves, right? I want persons to look on the fact that as working individuals, we have a certain level of independence because we earn our money and we're able to take care of our basic needs. One of the things that persons would want to have at the forefront of their mind, how can I preserve my standard of living, the one that you have created while you're employed? You have created a standard of living. How do I maintain it or improve it when I get to retirement age? And what you find is that some persons, they approach retirement with anxiety. They're anxious because what? They are not adequately prepared. Here we are with the information, with the solution, and with the medium for you to get it and get it quickly, because nobody wants to reduce their standard of living. So if you're used to eating chicken on a Sunday, I'm sure when you get to retirement age, you still want to at least be able to eat your chicken on a Sunday, right? But what you find is that too many Jamaicans are becoming pension or retired poor, so to speak, because what? No plans were put in place prior to retirement. And then you get to this age of retirement, and then there is nothing for you to really bank on. And so you find people actually working beyond retirement years, just trying to stay alive. So I'm imploring persons, the information is here, the solution is here in the Smart Retirement Plan, and the easy access is here to propel you into a secure and a confident retirement period of your life.
Love that. Thank you so much, Alvin. And, you know, even as you were talking, I reflect on the fact that many of us think that we're going to be forever young. And when retirement comes and the doctor bills go up, or the income is reduced significantly because we no longer have a salary, then that is when reality hits. So as Alvin says, the information is here, the access is here. There's nothing to prevent you. So for our panelists, final word from you. what advice, what final piece of advice, if there's one sentence that you want to leave with everybody here on this platform, what one piece of advice do you have for our audience, members of our audience who are not yet part of a pension plan? I'll start with you, Mrs. Brissett Simpson, then you, Desmond, and Alvin. I think you've said it, but I want you to say it again, or if you want to add something else. Mrs. Simpson.
I think I would encourage everybody to start as soon as you have a job. First job, find yourself, if you don't have one that is company sponsored, go to some place like NCB, where there is one that is, you can, you don't need to be with any particular organization to join, but just start to save. Save and put in as much as you can. If you even want to start with the 5, then the 7, then, gradually, but start the plan immediately as you start earning the income.
Thank you, Mrs. Simpson. Desmond?
Yeah, well, my advice would be similar to Mrs. Simpson as well. As it relates to getting the information, don't be afraid to actually sit down with someone and have them provide you with all the options, because that was what really got it for me. Seek the information, because retirement, nobody actually thinks about planning for retirement when you're very young, was what I realized. So best to start as early as possible.
Thank you, Desmond. Get it as early as possible. I think that is the theme. That's the central message that is coming out. And Alvin, final word to you.
Start now. Be disciplined, right? Be strategic in your financial planning. One less probably Starbucks, you can use those monies to put. And I would just qualify and just say, delayed gratification. We don't have to have everything here and now. I mean, delay some of the things so that you can enjoy it more in the future. So be purposeful, be disciplined, and start now, because every moment, every month, every year that you miss, it's a year of income that you could have gained interest on to give you a better pension and a better future when you get there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Alvin, Mrs. Lorna Brissett Simpson, and Desmond. You have really said it well, ladies and gentlemen. What more can we say? I mean, we have the information. Let us make sure that we act. So there's one quick question in the chat, Alvin, and I know we're gonna have the Q&A section at the end of this meeting. I want to note the questions. Well, I'm pretty sure the question may be answered later on in the program, so I'm gonna hold that question. But want to remind persons to keep the questions coming in the chat. We will answer all the questions. If they are not answered immediately during the presentation, they will be answered, I promise you. So keep them coming. Thank you for that question. So ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. You have heard it. We've heard it from 3 sides, if you will. We've heard it from a retiree. We heard it from somebody who is planning for retirement. We've heard it from somebody who assists you in planning for retirement. Now, the 2 stories jump out because these are persons who are planning for retirement. But there is, in fact, a 3rd story. One where there is no planning for retirement, and we don't want that to be your story this evening. So make sure you have not yet started, you get started today. So to ensure that your dream story, your dream retirement comes through, our next presenters will be providing you with some more insights into retirement planning. More specifically, how the NCB Insurance Smart Retirement Plan helps you prepare for retirement. So here to share with us this evening, we have Anique Wilson-Grey and Davian Jones, both are pension sales officer with NCB Insurance Agency. So we wanted to get your pens and your paper ready. You will want to make copious notes here as you plan for your dream retirement, right? as I say, note all the questions in the chat or put them on your notepad. We will take them after the presentations. So you will have an opportunity to unmute and ask your questions at that point, at the end of the program, or you can type them in the chat and we will answer those questions. Plus, we will be having giveaways. So make sure that you are writing, because when we ask the questions, we want to make sure that you can win, right? So we want you to keep it locked, stay tuned, keep your eyes peeled, your ears open. You don't want to miss a thing. So at this time, I'm going to invite you to put your hands together, your virtual hands together, and welcome Anique Wilson and Davian Jones, who will be talking to us about how you can and how will your smartphones help you prepare for retirement. Over to you, Davian and Anique.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I am Davian Jones, pension sales officer with NCB Insurance Agency and Fund Managers Limited. And I'm hoping by the end of this meeting that persons understand how the smartphones will prepare them for their retirement. All right, so firstly, let's define what is retirement. Now, retirement refers to the time of life when one chooses or is forced to permanently leave the workforce behind, right? So when we say chooses, this is where normal retirement age comes into place, and that's basically between ages 60 to 65. When we talk about force, persons can be made redundant and, it forces them to retire earlier than usual, or they have a terminal illness, or they can become disabled, right? So as I say, it refers to the time of life when one chooses or is forced to permanently leave the workforce behind. Now, why is retirement planning so important? As you notice, persons are living longer than usual, right? So, persons are actually reaching retirement age, right? So you want to ensure that when you reach retirement age, you have a retirement plan so that when you reach retirement age, you have money to spend like how you'd want to spend, right? Families are smaller, so there are fewer family members available to take care of older relatives. Yes, persons are not having as much kids as they used to have. Well, back in the days, people used to have 8, 9, 10 kids. Now, persons are having smaller families, right? So the persons are passing 3 or 4 these days. So you have fewer persons able to help others. So you as an individual have to ensure that you have a retirement plan in place, right? Now, high inflation levels reduce the value of accumulated wealth. I mean, one way to fight inflation with a retirement plan is to, over time, you can always increase. We know that the minimum one can contribute based on our smart retirement plan is 5%, right? But the maximum is 20%. So over the years, you ensure that you increase your contribution level, right? And also, persons can diversify their portfolio, right? So based on investment funds that we have under the plan, persons can diversify and not put their eggs in one basket, all right? There's a greater focus on individualism and fewer extended family arrangements. Now, you have an old saying that, my kids are my pension. No, we need to get rid of that saying. The younger generation, they're looking out for themselves, and they're, times are a bit harder in terms of getting certain things like a home and so forth. So we, even as parents or the older generation, have to ensure that we are equipped just as how the younger generation are equipping themselves with a retirement plan, right? And it also complements the NIS benefit, right? So you will have the NIS that the government gives us when we reach retirement, but having a retirement plan or a pension plan gives us more, and it gives us the freedom so that when we reach retirement age, we can spend how we'd want to spend, right? Or enjoy our retirement as how we'd want to enjoy our retirement. Now, what will your needs look like at retirement? You want to ensure that you have somewhere to live or a home by that time, you know, mortgage free. You want to ensure that, you know, you're spending time with family, so kids, grandkids by that time. You want to ensure that you have that dream vacation. You want to go to Italy. I'm sure Antoinette, you want to go to Barcelona, Spain at some point, right? Yeah. Or Santorini, Greece, you know. We also want to ensure that we are in good health, because one thing is reaching retirement, but being healthy when we reach retirement age is another. So we want to ensure that our health is intact. And obviously the money is right there in the middle. We need money, right? So these are what we'd want to look at when we reach retirement. Now, how to build wealth. The focal point obviously is about retirement, but there are other ways in which, you know, we can build our wealth. One is real estate. You know, persons owning a lot of properties these days, whether commercial or residential, to ensure that they have rental income. Starting a business, you know, operating a business or a company, gives you additional wealth as well. Investment, you know, you have different investment options such as stocks, bonds, unit trusts, you know, and these are different investment funds that you can use to diversify your portfolio other than having a retirement plan. And obviously, insurance, right? Antoinette, I know you'll back me up on this. Having a life insurance plan or a critical illness plan, these are other tools or financial tools that we can use to build wealth. Now, our baby, it's called a Smart Retirement Plan. And what is a Smart Retirement Plan? It's a personalized pension plan which allows members to accumulate tax-free contribution to provide an income in their retirement years. And yes, I said tax-free contribution. People, I want you to ensure that you capitalize on this, because, you know, once you are contributing to pension, there are some tax benefits that comes with it, which I will expound on later on. Now, who is eligible for the Smart Retirement Plan? All right, so individuals have to be between ages 18 and up to all the way up to 69 years old. They can't be an active member of an approved superannuation fund or an approved retirement plan. So if you're already a part of a superannuation fund, whether from a company or from through your company or from another financial institution, you cannot actively be a member of our plan, right? But we also have persons who wish to transfer their pension benefits from an approved superannuation fund. So, for example, if you're leaving your old company and you're going to a new company that doesn't provide pension, you know, the Smart Retirement Plan is always there, as it is an individual retirement plan, right? And you also have to be a resident of Jamaica. Now, how does the NCB retirement plan help you prepare for your retirement? No, it reduce statutory deductions. Your pension is the first statutory deduction that comes from your pay, right? And because of that, it lessens your income tax. So, for example, you're earning 100,000 a month, and you say, you know what, I'm going to start off by contributing 10%. You know that's $10,000 you're contributing. So instead of them taxing the $100,000, they're going to tax the $90,000 instead. So that way, you know, you're already saving by contributing to a pension plan, right? So tax-free investment, it's income replacement as early as age 50. So under the Smart Retirement Plan, persons can retire as early as age 50. It's that flexible. We have experienced investment management professionals. You know, we have the best in the game, and they ensure that the monies are being invested in the right funds so that you, the pension contributor, will, you know, gain from that. It encourages consistency. So persons, you know, are more, you know, it encourages persons to be more responsible, so that when they reach retirement, they have money. It's a approved retirement scheme by the FSC. So we're licensed under the FSC in terms of regulation. Attractive return on investment. We ensure that based on the funds that you're investing in, and we look at the demographic, persons get an attractive return by the time they reach retirement age. And it provides a death and disability benefit. God forbid if something were to happen to you as the contributor, if in terms of death, then it leaves money for your loved ones behind. And in terms of disability, if you were to get disabled during the period of you contributing, then the money is paid out at the time when you become disabled. So it is basically secured money at retirement. Right, so it's basically secured money at retirement. So we want to ensure that you are, equipped with a retirement plan. Anique will now show you the illustration of how you will pay yourself by the time you reach retirement. I hand over to you, Anique.
Thank you, Davian. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. And as Davian said, contributing to your pension means you're paying yourself first. I wish I could pay myself more, but for the time being, 20% is the maximum I can pay myself. So I ensure that I do the best I can at this time to ensure that I can live my best life, even at retirement, right? So we see here the demonstration of the tax benefits. Primarily, I would point you to the income tax that is payable when you're contributing to a pension plan, right? So if you look in scenario 1, you're contributing 5% to your pension, it would reduce your income tax payable would be $7,081.18. But if you contribute 10%, it goes down to $4,997.86. And can you imagine then, if you were doing 20%, it would even be less, right? So for a lot of us who weep when we see our paychecks at the end of the month and see that X amount went to the government, this is one way to get back at them, right? And wouldn't we all like that? All right. So when we consider how to invest in our pension funds, we understand that it's not a one-size-fits-all situation. We're at different ages and stages in life, and therefore we provide for that in the NCB Smart Retirement Plan. So we have 4 different investment funds that you can contribute to at varying rates to ensure that you have a balanced portfolio at the end of the day. And we recommend doing at least an annual check on your pension portfolio to see where you are at and to make the changes as necessary. Because what your situation was when you started may very well not be the same at the 1-year mark. And 1 year is a good amount of time to see where you're at and to make the necessary changes by the time you get to retirement, right? So we have the Smart Balanced Fund. And what that fund entails is primarily bonds, money market instruments, equities, loans, leases, mortgages, and real estate, right? So from just the balanced approach, you realize that we're not putting all your eggs in one basket. We're ensuring that you're properly spread, and we're ensuring that the funds that we invest in or the assets that we invest in are solid. One of the primary benefits of having a financial advisor or a financial professional oversight in your investment options is that this is what we do. We're constantly checking the market. We're taking an inventory of what is happening, and rather than reacting to situations, we can respond in a timely manner to ensure that pensioners are protected, right? We also have the fixed income fund, and that is especially attractive for persons who are more on the conservative side, right? So the closer you get to retirement is the less risk you will be able to take. Whether or not you like it, you're getting to that place where you have to preserve your financial situation and you can't do as aggressive investment as you would if you were at 20, right? So we would focus more on fixed income options for you at this point. We also have two recently added funds, the real estate fund and the high yielding fund. And as we go around Kingston or just Jamaica in general, and we see the different buildings going up and we realize persons are investing in real estate and we're getting a piece of that pie and allowing pensioners or members of the pension fund to be able to reap the rewards of that as well, right? So you might not own a house now, but you can still invest in real estate. And one of the easiest ways to do that is through a real estate investment trust. And that is a part of the portfolio that we currently manage at NCBIA, right? So we also have the high yielding fund for the persons who are experienced, the persons who are younger, the persons who are willing to take the risk. Then we encourage them to consider our high yielding fund as well. We're primarily invested in stocks, preference shares, mezzanine financing, lease financing, and we have some other fixed income instruments that will come on board from time to time that you may not be able to get on the regular market, right? One of the other benefits of investing through your pension plan, through the smart retirement plan, is that our size works for us. We're a large institution and we have access to things that the smaller players in the market would not have access to by virtue of their size. All right, so I'm just going to show you the difference in terms of your risk appetite and how, if you are on the conservative side or the not so conservative side, what effect it would have. So we see the different funds that we have. We have the balance fund, which is primarily stocks. We have the fixed income fund. We have the real estate, and we have the high yielding. Now, on the side, you're seeing where if you're a low risk person, if you're the type of person who says, I'm afraid to lose any money, so I don't want to invest in anything, then you would be considered a low risk person. But even you, the smart retirement plan can take care of you. And if we see here somebody who was born in 2000, that person is 23, gonna be 24 this year, right? If that person is earning an annual salary currently of 2 million and they're doing the bare minimum of 5%, then when they retire at 65, they would have accumulated approximately 43.7 million. Now, if it is that you get to retirement and you didn't make any plans, then this 43 million won't be a part of your future. So you have to decide, no, is this something that I would like to be a part of my future? You can take action right now. Then we look at someone who is not so scared, but they're also not fully sold on the investments and they're taking a moderate approach. You'll realize the same person, the only thing we change here is the way they invested, and it went up to approximately 52.1 million simply by changing the way you invest, right? And we'd encourage you not to take our word for it just so, but do your own research. See how the market is performing, read up about it, because I would not encourage you to just put down your money and say the advisor is going to take care of it. Take an active approach to your retirement planning. We are here to partner with you, right? So we have the high risk persons who say I am all in because I want the big bucks. Then you can see that the same person taking a high risk approach would be at approximately 61.4 million. And this person would be living their best life because they chose to make that sacrifice when they were younger, right? We're not saying that everyone has to be high risk, but we're saying map out a plan for your retirement and then form a plan that will work for you, right? So for those persons who would say, I am too young, I don't need to think about retirement yet. Thank God Desmond saw the light. We're hoping tonight some other persons will be converted, right? To understand that it's not about when you get older, you're going to start preparing. As I heard a smart man once said, that young people pay pension and old people collect it, right? So we want to ensure that we can be on the receiving end when that time comes. And I'm just gonna show you the difference that time makes. All right, so it's a numbers game. And when you realize someone born in 2000 compared to someone born in 1975, the difference in how much they will be able to accumulate at their normal age of retirement being 65, right? We see that the same person born in 2000 would have accumulated the 52.1 million just by taking a moderate approach. And then someone who was born later would accumulate approximately 4.5 million by taking the same moderate approach. Nothing changed with these people outside of the time that they decided to start, right? And the thing that comes to mind here is something that happened to me just a few months ago, I think, where I have a property and I left the pipe on and it was on for about a week. And when I got back there, the water was up to my ankle. And it came to me just then that this is exactly how it is with time and the way we spend our time, the way we spend our resources. Whether or not we take action, time is trickling, and the choices that we make, they add up. So we have to decide whether we want brokenness to flood us or we want money to flood us. That's a decision we have the power to make tonight. Once we are gainfully employed or we're earning some form of income, you have the option of deciding what you want to flood your life by making a decision tonight. All right, so in the spirit of that, one less equals so much more, and that is the message we are preaching tonight. The fact that whilst the economy is what it is, and we have to be making decisions about how we spend our resources, it's all a matter of choice, right? Yes, you're getting the same $100 to spend. Let's use $100 to be simple. But you are using part of that $100 to buy things that you don't really need. Tonight is the night that you decide, you know, something, I'm going to take inventory of how I'm spending my resources, how I'm stewarding my resources. What is it that I'm spending on that I could do with less of, right? Maybe it is going out every event you're present, you know, with people who don't support you. Maybe it is shopping online, everything that pop up, you click purchase, you know. Maybe it is buying that extra coffee, not necessarily because you like coffee, but you hear people talking about Starbucks. You might want to assess what you're spending on that you really don't need, right? And in this illustration, where we just did the numbers just to show you, if you decide to buy one less 3-piece meal, 3-piece of whatever you want to buy, right? Just for one day each week, how much you can accumulate at the end of a month. And when we check the numbers, you could just by saving $1,340 every week, you could accumulate $5,360, right? And let's show you now what that $5,360 could get you if you're saving now. So here, the same person, born 2000, this person earning 1.2 approximately, right? They just started, they maybe don't have the degree yet to be earning that big income, but that person decided, you know, I'm going to start now. Taking a moderate approach, They're not wilding. They probably don't fully understand the market yet. So they're just touching it. And they would have accumulated approximately $40.5 million at their normal age of retirement. Now, if this is not a wake-up call for you tonight, I don't know what is. How many 5,000 you're spending and you don't even know what you spend it on at the end of the month? It's time for us to take inventory, see where we're at, see where we're trying to go, and make a plan. We're here to support you in that process. We are ready to help. Right? So having said all that, what will your retirement look like? Because I'm sure after hearing all that we've said tonight, you must have an idea of where you're heading based on your current situation, whether you have something in place, whether you took your refund, you know, whether you decided that you're going to do your 5 or your 10%. Think about where you want to be. You can be on the beach, relaxing, having a good time, or you can be downtown trying to sell some half-dead plantain. You decide tonight, and we're here to assist you with that. So thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to working with you soon.
Thank you so much, Anique and Davian. Take a screenshot quickly of all of those business cards. He that hath an ear to hear, let him hear. Indeed, what will your retirement look like? One less can equal so much more. And Camila can't see very well on the mobile, so I'm gonna ask you. Yes. Williams don't want to sell no half-dead plantain. Absolutely not. We're not going to stand up on no drug serve line to get no free prescription. We are going to be chilling on the beach. Do you see our backgrounds? That's this lifestyle. That is the retirement that we are dreaming of. So Davian and Anique, I'm going to invite you to put your contact details in the chat. So those persons who are on their mobiles and can't see the screen very well, I'm going to ask you to put it there so persons can reach you if they need to. But I have even greater news for you. Those persons who are ready now because you're done nervous, you're biting your fingernails, you say, boy, I am behind the 8th ball and I need to start now. Aren't you glad that you're on this webinar this evening? Not true. It's a good thing that you took the time to be here. You need to say thanks to the person who invited you. As a matter of fact, I'm going to ask you right now, the person who invited you, especially if that person was an NCB staff, I want you to put that NCB staff's name in the chat right now. If you were invited tonight by an NCB staff, I want you to big up and load up that NCB staff, put the name that you remember. If I'm Munchie, remember. No, don't put Munchie. We don't know no Munchie. But put the name of that NCB staff in the chat because we want to say big ups and load ups to the persons who had your best interest at heart and thought that this seminar, this webinar here this evening would have added value to you. And so while you put the name in the chat, we are down to our final segment. Yes, we're coming down already. We want to make it real sweet for you, short and sweet. And so you have heard the information. You've heard why it is that you need to plan for your retirement. You've heard how it is that you can plan for your retirement. And I'm sure you're making notes. Remember to keep making notes. Remember to keep paying attention. Giveaways are coming up and we want to make sure more than that you can act on the information. So right now, to help you to put the lid on things, to make sure that you know exactly what to do now that you're ready to start your retirement plan, we're going to be having Alicia Thompson from our Enterprise Projects Office, who will be walking us through the NCB Smart Pensions Portal. Yes, we've gone online, fully virtual from the comfort of your home, your office. So Alicia will be walking us through our pensions portal, showing us where you go, how you start your pension plan right now. Even as you're sitting where you are, even if you're in traffic, you can go online and get your plan started. So please, let's put our virtual hands together and welcome Alicia Thompson, who will be walking us through starting your pension plan online today, the Pensions Portal demo. Over to you, Alicia.
All right, thank you so much, Antoinette. So now that we're buying one less Starbucks, one less 3-piece, we're well on our way, right, to learning how to enroll in the SMART retirement plan. So in order to do that, you will be going to smart.ncbinsurance.com, and you can see that right here in the navigation bar, smart.ncbinsurance.com. Once you've navigated to that page, if you remember Anique was showing you the calculators, you'll be able to put the information in here for yourself, and you'll be able to see what your projections will look like. So you can look at the tax savings calculator on your own, pension projection calculator. As she said, they're here to assist and to accompany you, but also you want to see what it will look like on your own, right? So now that you're here, you'll move over to SMART, which is at the top, and you'll go to Start New Application. Once you're there, you'll have the opportunity to either log in with your online banking credentials. So if you're an NCB customer, your username and your password, you'll click on this to do your username and password. But if you don't, if you're not an NCB customer, you're now going to be an NCB customer, you can actually create an NCBIA account. And to do this, you will scroll down to where it says create new account, and you will sign up, and you will get a username and password. Your username is usually your email address, right? So now I'm going to walk you through using my email address and password. So once you've logged in, you will see a few screening questions at the initial onset of the onboarding, and you're just going to read through and answer these questions. So it says, are you a politically exposed person? If you are, you say yes. If you are not, you click on no. Are you a relative or a family member or an associate of a politically exposed person? If no, you can select no. But you can always read. We have many information here that you can click on to find out what's a politically exposed person. So wherever you see these icons, these are called tooltips, and they'll give you more information about the question being asked. Now, also, we want to know if you are a Jamaican tax resident. Yes. Are you a specified US person? No. And this is for the most common responses that we will see. Are you a tax resident of another country? No. Are you employed in a high-risk industry or profession? And there are examples of those high-risk industries or professions seen below. So you can check to ensure that you are, or if you are not, and answer as such. So I will select no, and then click on apply. Now, before we begin the actual application, it gives you more information about the SMART retirement plan, and you're able to click on it and get way more information, right? Also, and I want you to pay attention to this section, especially the documents that you need to open your account. So you need your TRN, you'll need a proof of valid ID, and you can click this to see what the valid ID can be: driver's license, national ID, passport, your proof of address, and it also gives you the options of what your proof of address can be, as well as contact information of 2 references or referees, and they can be an employer, justice of the peace, minister of religion, NCB custom, or NCB manager. We also would like to have your proof of income, and for employed versus self-employed persons, that may be a little bit different. So you can check right here and you'll see what is needed, right? Also, you may need a front-facing camera to do some verification checks known as Know Your Customer. So just ensure that you have all those things ready, all right? Then you click on continue. Now, this is where it gets exciting. And I mean, for the most part, you will have this information on hand. So now it asks for your TRN number, or your TRN, sorry. So you can select a file and upload this. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and upload this on my part, on my side. Oops. One moment. My screen. Okay. So we're gonna upload our TRN and click on next. Now it asks us to put in some information about ourselves. And if you had already done some verification before from your TRN, it will automatically populate that information right here in the personal information section. So information that was uploaded was for Charlie Thomas, as you can see here, gender, male, date of birth. And it's easy to select the date of birth. You just go back and you select the year. And the date. And it will automatically populate your TRN that you would have uploaded before. All right. Marital status, married. Maiden name, King. Country of birth, you can put that in, Jamaica. Region of birth, Clarendon. And nationality, Jamaica. Once everything has been completed, you click on next. Now it also will ask you for your place of residence, so you can put that information in. All right. And this person lives in Maypen, Clarendon. And if you don't have your postal code, that's okay. You don't have to put that in. But what you need to pay attention to is whenever you see the little asterisk, that would indicate that that information is needed before you can proceed to the next step. So for home address, if your mailing address is the same as your home address, you can just click this icon. But if it is not, you can definitely go ahead and complete your mailing address right here. Now, we also require a proof of address. As we would have seen before, you would have had this on hand because you knew it was coming. And it can either be a utility bill, a postmarked envelope, a national ID or proof of address verification form. Now you can download this form, complete it as a PDF, and then re-upload it. So I'm going to select a proof of address verification form because I believe I do have that. So I'm going to upload that and we will continue with the process. Now, contact information, we just put in, or you only require one telephone number, but if you do have a home number or a work number, that would be good to also include. But we need to have at least one number listed for you on the portal. All right, then we click on next. Employment details. So are you self-employed or are you employed? So I'm going to select I'm employed. I'm going to put in my occupation, attorney at law, and the name of my employer. So this is all information that you'd have already have. So you're just putting in this information. Put in the address for your employer. And located in Maypen, and in Jamaica. So once that is completed, everything is there. And we've done that, we click on next. And the final section under about yourself, you're going to put in your source of funds. So source of funds here, you select from the list of options, and I'm going to select income. That source of income is from salary, right? And annual income, I'm going to put it at around 3 million per year. Now, we also need proof of income, which is either a letter from an employer, not more than 6 months old, or most recent pay slip, or proof of salary. For this demonstration purpose, I'm going to use my most recent pay slip within the last 6 months, and I'm going to upload that document, right? Pay slip. Once that is done, we click on continue to move to the next section. Now, the other section of the application is just the references, or also known as referee details. All right, so our references that we're gonna use, we have one, Charmaine King. And the referee, this is a justice of the peace. Telephone number 563-4567. And our second referee,
will be Alex Blanche. And this will be my pastor, Minister of Religion, number 778-467857. All right, once we've inputted the referee details, we're on to the next step and we click on continue. Now, this is the interesting part that we spoke about that Anique told you all about. If your normal retirement age is 60, you can put it in, but it also goes up. You can select up to about 65 or 69, I believe. So for this purpose, demonstration purpose, we're going to select age 60. And my contribution rate is, we're not going to do the 5% because we know we want our returns to be more. We're going to do about 10%, right? And employer contributing, employer normally matches it sometimes, so 10%. If you're transferring in any money to the smart fund, you can put that in, but if not, you can always leave that blank. I'm going to put in about 1 million. Let's say I'm coming from another pension fund, right? Employer transferring value, I'm going to leave that at 0. Now, this is the section that Anique spoke about, the risk appetite. Are you low, moderate, or aggressive? So for Charlie, I'm going to go ahead and select moderate. And you'll realize that based on the risk appetite that is selected, it will change the allocation for each investment type. Moderate will put the maximum at the smart balance fund allocation, whereas aggressive will put the maximum over at the smart high yielding fund allocation. We're going to select moderate for this demonstration purposes with a salary increase rate, say for about 3%, right, per year. Another option, another area to pay attention. So do you have an NCB insurance agent? If you already started the conversation with Davian, with Anique, or anyone else, you can always go ahead and select their name from the drop-down list here. But if not, that's okay. You can select, oh, I don't have an insurance agent, and don't worry, we will definitely assign one to you. But if you have one from before, you can go ahead and select that person's name. Now, beneficiaries and trustees, very, very important. And, we know the beneficiary, the person who will receive the payment after death of the insured or in the event, right? Now, if you have more than one beneficiaries, the total must add up to 100%. But I'm going to add a beneficiary right now. I'm just going to add one beneficiary. All right, so let's say this person was born in 2015, February 6, male, relationship to member, brother. And their number is 779. And we want that person to have 100% share, right? Now, if you realize this person was born in 2015, which means that they are under the age of 18 years old. If someone is under the age of 18, then that person needs to be assigned what is known as a trustee, which will basically be in care of that person. And you can always click on the tooltip here that gives you more information on who a trustee is. Now, a trustee needs to be somebody who is much older, well, older than 18 years old. So I'm going to add someone else to be in the care of Ricardo Smith until he gets, of age. And this will be his mother. And you'll realize this is in alphabetical order. So you just scroll until you find, the relationship that best matches. All right. Interest for Ricardo Smith. All right. Once everything has been completed, you will click on done. And we now have a trustee and a beneficiary added. What is even more important is ensuring that you've read the terms of the beneficiary nomination. Read. Once you've read it, you're going to say, I have read, understood, and accepted the terms of the beneficiary nomination. And this will generate what is known as your electronic signature to say that, you know, you've read it, you've understood it, and you're accepting. Now, we want to look at how payments will be made, because that's also very important. And there are two options, salary deduction or pre-authorized payment. For this demonstration purpose, we're going to select a salary deduction that will be done on a monthly frequency. And we will do that on the 25th of each month, right? So you're able to select the payment option. Once completed, you've completed everything on this page, you click on continue. And we're almost at the end. Let's see, kind of kicked us out a little there, but not to worry. All right, so if something like that happens and it kicks you out, it should bring you back to where you last were. Right, seems that it didn't save the last section. No worries, we can quickly put that in, right? All right, so we're just quickly putting in the information. And then move on to the next step. All right, we read the information. We have our electronic signature, accepted the terms, selected the type of payment and frequency. So we're getting a double dose, so we know exactly what to do when it's time for us to do it. Definitely won't forget. Now we're at the declarations and disclosures. Now this is very important. This gives you all the information you need to know about joining the Smart Retirement Plan. So I would ask that you kindly take some time to read it. And there's also some questions to answer. Well, one question to answer at item number 4, just to say that you are eligible to join the fund and you're going as either self-employed or an employed person. So you can read the options and select the one that best suits your criteria, your situation. And, you know, I know a lot of times you don't like to read terms and conditions, but I implore you, I recommend that you go ahead and you read the information here, right? Then you're also going to say that I've read, understood, and accepted, and you're consenting to share this information with us at NCB. And that information includes your TRN and your IP address, which will be used to generate your electronic signature. Because you're not, you know, physically signing, it gives you an electronic signature. And once that is completed, we click on continue. And we're almost at the end. We give you the opportunity to review everything that you've put in for your personal details, review your name, your ID, your place of residence, contact info, employment details. And if there's an error, if you're realizing you made an error, you can quickly edit that with the options that are seen directly on the right. Your source of funds, so you just review your personal details and you can come over to this side and also review your Smart Retirement Plan details, which would be, you know, what type of fund, the allocation that you want, as well as your beneficiary and trustee details. All right. Once you have done that, it's time to prepare for being rich whenever you retire. You click on submit. And it's doing all the good things. And it will then give you the information that you will need after. Coming right up. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Perfect. All right, so it says, welcome to the first step to securing your financial future. Congrats, your application has been submitted for processing. And it tells you, it's a smart retirement plan, the name on the account, and what are your next steps. So it says that a sales representative from NCBIA will now be reviewing your application, and then you will receive a call or an email in the next 3 business days. So just look out for that. But also, and even as important as your application was, is giving us some feedback, right? Rate your experience with us. And that's the only way we can better serve you, if we understand how we can better serve you. So, tell us, how was your experience using the portal? Was it easy? Did you find that it was easy to use? Were you able to put in everything that you needed to put in? So just let us know how you enjoyed using the smart portal and how easy it was for you to navigate. And it's about 3 questions. It will not even take you a minute. It won't even take you a minute. And once you've done that, that's it. You're on your way to being retired on a beach in Fiji. And that's it for me. Antoinette, over to you, and persons can start sharing their questions.
Thank you so much, Alicia. There we have it. We won't be selling no steel plant in downtown. We'll be retired on a beach in Fiji. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are excited. We are excited for you because you have the information, you have the wherewithal to make sure that your pension plan is put in place. We're going to be taking the questions now, but before we go into that segment, we have a clip that we absolutely must play for you. So we're going to be handing over to our technical team now, and we're going to be playing that, and then we're coming back just to take a few questions. I know some of the questions have already been answered, but I think we have a few more questions that we need to answer, and one more exciting short segment, just 5 more minutes of your time, I promise you, or 10, and we'll be out of here.
Pension/retirement is it's very important to me. Of course, we can't always work for the rest of our lives, no matter how much we wish we could. So it's always important to have a backup plan for when you are not able to work.
I think it's important because, long life saving after you retire, say, not gonna have much, you can't work, you get tired and all of that. So, long term, especially when you have children.
Everybody. It's for everybody. But some people just don't really care for it.
There's no way that if you don't have a pension unless you gotta go back to work.
That is false. As me say, as soon as you can start make money, start put on money.
There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. It was so nice we had to do it twice, but I think the same salient points came out and nothing more. Start make money, you need to start put on money. Everybody needs retirement. Everybody needs a pension plan. And we have provided you with the information that you need right here. You've heard from persons who are experiencing retirement. You've heard from somebody who is planning for retirement. You've heard from the persons who help you to plan for retirement. And you've also seen how you can put your own retirement plan in place. What will you do with the information? What will you do? We're going to take your questions now. If you do have a question that you did not place in the chat or one that was not answered before, we are going to be taking those questions. I know there were 2 questions in the chat earlier. One had asked, is it too late at 60 to start a pension plan? And I know that answer came because we know you can start a pension plan between the ages of 18 and 69. So you still have a little more time. And the other question was asked, how much money do I need to start? I'm going to invite Davian or Anique to answer that one. How much money do I need to start?
All right, so I'll take that one. So it's not how much money, but it's more of a percentage. And the minimum is 5% of your gross, all right? And a maximum of 20. So the minimum is 5% of your gross.
All right. All right. So thanks, Davian. I don't know if I missed any other questions from the chat. If I did, don't know if anybody else can help me out here. I myself would have suffered technical bug. I fell off for a little bit, but if there are any other questions, I'm gonna ask you to just resend it just so that we can answer those questions. But in the meantime, aren't you glad that you joined this webinar this evening? All of this wonderful information. We want to hear from you. As Alicia said, your feedback is important. We want to know how we can better serve you. So we are going to be having right now a survey, just a quick survey. In addition, if it is that you'd like to hear some more information, you want somebody to contact you, there's a section on the survey for you to actually enter your contact details, and one of our smart sales officers will reach out to you to provide you with additional information. So we're going to ask you, the survey is going to be coming up. It's going to pop up on your screen any moment now. We're going to ask you to just provide your feedback, just answer 3-4 short questions and share with us your contact details if you would like someone to contact you here after. And then we're going to be having our giveaways. I have 4 questions for you, 4 wonderful giveaways. So make sure you stick and stay with us. So the survey should be popping up anytime now. The poll, looking out for our pollsters. And while the poll comes up, here it is. Here it is. The poll is right up in front of you. Only 5 quick questions. Let us answer those quickly. We value your feedback. Was the webinar engaging and valuable to you? Are you encouraged to open an NCBIA Smart Pension account? And I believe this question will not be answered. I think you're going to put not applicable for number 3, right? If no, it was selected for number 2, kindly share why. And would you recommend the Smart pension portal to others? And would you like to be contacted? Giving you 30 seconds to respond to the poll. And I think we have 1 or 2 more questions in the chat. I hope your poll is working. And I believe the responses to the polls are coming in. There's a question that is coming up in the chat. So it's giving you 30 more seconds to respond to the poll, and then we'll answer that question in the chat. All right. So the question is asked, how do I know what the value of my pension will be upon retirement? Davian, I think you're still on my screen, so I'm going to invite you to answer that one as well. How do I know what the value of my pension will be upon retirement?
So based on what Alicia did, you know, on the online portal, we have a calculator which actually shows you your projections. So based on your contribution amount and also based on your age and how you allocate the funds, whether aggressively, moderately, or low in terms of risk, then it will give you a projection up to age 65 or early retirement or even late retirement. So the calculator is there, and you just put in information and it will project it for you.
All right, and that's a projection, right? So that's why it's important that we review it as we go along, because different situations will change. Funds will perform differently. So you want to make sure that you're giving yourself the best opportunity to live your best life after retirement. And I don't think we have any more questions in the chat, but certainly there will be an opportunity to speak with our pension sales officers hereafter. So I do have some giveaways for you. So for those persons who stuck with us, stayed with us, here are 4 easy questions for you. Now, these are the rules of engagement. I am going to ask the question. You are going to type the answer in the chat. The first person with the correct answer will walk away with the prize. Are you ready? If you're ready, give a thumbs up, give a shout out emoji, give something. Let me know that you are ready. Yes, after Davian, you're ready, but you don't qualify. Okay, so ready. First question. For $5,000 toward your pension plan is, when is the best time to start your retirement plan? When is the best time to start your retirement plan? When? Whoa, I see the answers coming in. I see the answers coming in. I see at age 18, as soon as you start working, as as an adult, 18 and over, as soon as you start earning, But the answer we're looking for is now. Right now. And so we want to say congratulations to Williams. I will not want to mess up your first name. Thank you so much for the correct response. Please make a note of that. My technical team will be reaching out to Williams because we want to make sure that $5,000 is added to making him $5,000 richer at retirement, him or her. Next question. Ready? It's who balling now. Hush. Ready. Your finger's not quick enough. Ready. Are you ready? Ready? Ready. Next question. Question number 2. What is The name of the NCBIA retirement plan. Individual retirement plan. What is the name of the NCBI? Oh, Jesus. Now I know whose fingers were ready. All the balling they were pretending to ball. Fingers were ready. Camellia Barrett with the correct answer. Smart. I think Camellia was tricking us with that emoji. Ready, ready, ready. It's a smart retirement plan. I think we'll take smart for the time being, you know, with the quick fingers and all of that. I see Denise typing out the full, Denise Thompson typing out the full name because Denise has it down pat. So we are going to, yes, we're going to take smart as Camellia would have had smart down in the chat. Next question. Are you ready? 2 more questions to go. 2 more. 2 more. Are you ready? What is the age range, minimum age, maximum age within which you can start your smart age range? Woohoo! Woo! Look at the chat going. Look at the chat going. The age range. So between what ages can you start a smart retirement plan? The answer is who had quick fingers, but Pete again, Denise, But the answer we're looking for, the correct answer, in fact, came first from Kevar, and it is 18 to 69. We have 3 of 4 questions down. We have given away 15 of $20. Are you ready? Are you ready? So, final question. Final question. This one will take a little bit of time, so we're going to do it like Jeopardy, and we're going to give you 30 seconds to type your answers. Ready? 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 List 2 benefits of having a smart retirement plan. List 2 benefits of having a smart retirement plan. Oh, the younger folks won't know this tune. Jeopardy not come on TV again. Those who didn't have JBC will know Jeopardy. So if you're not familiar with JBC, well, yeah, yes. So let's see. Oh my word. Dane is out. Trish is out. Wow, we're seeing some responses coming in. Live as you did while working and to cover your expenses, tax benefits and investment, tax-free and early retirement, tax-free investment, tax-exempt savings and reduced tax payments. Wow. All of these benefits, death and disability benefits, death and disability qualifiers too, not so sure, but we see tax-free earnings, tax-free contributions, and early retirement. I think we can take that one, Davian, Anique, tax-free early retirement. What is that? Is that 2? Should there be a comma? Is it tax-free and early retirement? What is that saying? I don't know if, yeah, it sounds like Odin is saying you get tax-free benefits as well as you can have early retirement. Would that be correct? Give me a thumbs up, Davian and Anique. Yes?
I would give early retirement as a benefit.
Yeah.
The tax-free, yes.
Also, so the tax-free investment is there. All right, so Odane, we have to dip again. We go have to dip again, Odane.
The death and disability would qualify.
Which one? Death and disability.
Yeah.
Those are 2 separate benefits?
Correct.
Okay, all right. Okay, so Trisha, I hope I got it right. Farquharson, congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. I must take this opportunity to thank you so much for staying with us throughout this webinar this evening. Thank you to our guest presenters today, Mrs. Brissett Simpson and Mr. Williams. thank you for the insight that you gave us and the practical ways that you showed us how investing in ourselves can help us in our retirement years. Thank you to the NCBIA team for the invaluable information that you shared here this evening. And most of all, we want to say thank you, our very gracious audience members, for sticking and staying with us this evening. This was all for you, and we are happy that you took the time and you made the time to be here. I want to say to you, ensure that you monetize your time spent here with us this evening by starting your smart retirement plan with NCB Insurance Agency. If there is something that you might have missed or you want to share with someone, a note, that you might have made and you didn't quite catch it, note that the recording of this webinar can be found or will be found on our YouTube channel. And we're going to be posting that channel in the chat. Look out for it. You can visit smart.ncbinsurance.com to register to sign up for your own pension plan account. So ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Have a wonderful evening and have a great weekend. God bless you.